right, so today we're here with Jason Gore from Gore Photos and Eddie from Gaslit Photography.
Awesome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
Today we're doing something different. Normally we would be doing it in our studio that we're building, but they're coming out from out of town and they came to Dallas, so we're here at Covenant Studios. What time did you guys come in?
We got in last night, stayed out in Mansfield with a buddy so we could shoot with you this morning at 10. The photo shoot starts at noon.
Yeah. So today is going to be a little different. We're going to be on location, so bear with us. We have cameras everywhere. We found this big, I don't know, presidential table to use. So it's a little awkward, but we're here. Basically, we're going to be asking questions and just talking photography and then just shooting the shit. So my first question, we'll start with Jason, was share a little bit about your journey and how you started photography.
Yeah, so really my dad shot when I was a kid. He had his own studio in the house. He built it onto the side of the house. He had a dark room in the back. And so, I watched that growing up and I watched the artistic aspect of it, but it was complicated. Shooting film, developing film in your dark room. So it wasn't something that I wanted to get into until later when digital started coming out. And I'm in the tech field for my job, so that was up my alley. I'm like, digital, I got that, I can figure that out. And so I bought my first digital camera, which was an old mirrorless Konica Minolta.
Oh, fuck.
And I wore that thing. It was falling apart when I got done with it.
How long ago was that?
I bought that camera in probably 2002.
Yeah.
So that's about when I first started playing around shooting my kids, and then next thing you know, I'm at a little league. We lived up here at the time. I'm in a little league game.
Taking photos of your kids, shooting your kids doesn't sound.
Yeah, you don't want to shoot your kids. So you were saying?
So I would shoot pictures of my kids. And that's what it is. It's shooting.
It's shooting.
Man,
shooting and taking photos. We're not actually physically shooting people.
I'm not shooting anybody.
It's our terminology.
Yeah. Damn it, Eddie.
So
anyway, taking pictures of my son at his little league games. They're like, "Hey, you got the cool camera. You're the photographer.
Can you shoot my kids?
Yeah. Can you shoot the team? Can you shoot this kid? Can you shoot that kid? Can you take pictures?" Yes, I can take pictures. Okay, good. So I tried, and it was ugly. It was terrible. It looked like crap. I didn't know about lights. I didn't know about anything, but I figured it out. This camera was pretty fancy at the time, so it got me into it, and that's really where I started.
What did your father think about it?
He liked it, but he's so old school because he doesn't understand that it's the same. It's just doesn't have film in it, so it's. You've got the same ISO and the shutter speed, and it's the same. And I would ask him for pointers, like, what do I need to shoot, ISO and f-stop? And he's like, I don't know anything about digital. It's like, it's the same, Dad. Tell me how it works. Tell me the relations of everything. Yeah. Because they relate to, they all relate to each other. You change one, it messes the other. So that was the part that, hardest to figure out because you want to get out of auto mode. Yeah. So it was hard. It was good. And Dad helped a little bit, and then I'd use his studio some when I was first starting out because he had some old school lights in there, so I could practice with studio lights.
Big old, huge
the
lights.
Big silver umbrellas, Yeah.
I bet your father. Did he say anything to you? Did he be like, what, I'm proud of you?
He does. He compliments a lot of the shots, and he's not. I shoot a lot of models. I used to do a lot of seniors and families and stuff, but the market where I live is not, trying to think of a word, just a second. I have to cut for a second. I guess, I don't want to put this on air, but cheap. So they want cheap shit, so how do I say that?
Cost effective?
It's not,
I didn't say it.
They don't want to pay for my skills? That's going to sound too arrogant.
No. It's not arrogant. I mean, there's different classes of photographers, You have the low-end photographers that can meet that need, middle, and then you have high-end. So, I mean, they're all different. We have the same here. So.
I think everybody, starts from the low end, and then as they get better, they progress, and they want to get the money that they're putting into it.
Well, in the investment, too.
That's where I was maybe trying to get at. Okay, I'll go. So when I was starting out, I was charging a lot less, of course, trying to build my skill set up, get a lot of work, so I could build the skill set up, charge $100 a shoot, start putting it into gear, start buying gear, saving for gear, paying off a loan for gear or whatever it was, you know. So
put your,
as
gear
I
on
built my
credit.
skills up, I increased my price. As I got better gear, I increased my price, and I eventually priced myself out of my area because there's already people that dominate the senior photos and the families.
Oversaturated.
Yeah, and then there's the ones that are still, the new ones that are coming up, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Not knocking them at all, but they're charging less because they're starting like I did. Everybody starts somewhere. So,
Yeah.
you know, I've moved into more of a hobby at this point. So I shoot with models, shoot with, you know, I'll take on a, you know, senior occasionally. I'll shoot somebody's sister that, hey, my sister's graduating.
Yeah.
You want to shoot hers? Yeah, but I'm going to charge her. You know, 'cause I need to make a little money sometimes.
Yeah.
Cover some gas at least.
I would think, like, from what I saw in your photography, I would think if I'm a senior, I would want to go with you to be something different, because a lot of the times when people are doing photography, especially like in the low ends, they're all doing the same type. Like, here's the bridge, smile, put the cap
And they
on.
got that same filter, that
and
little
I-
sepia tone looking thing.
Right, and I think your photos, both of y'all, if I was a senior, that's what I would want. I want something different.
I agree, and they tend to steer towards that. What you're talking about, the bridge and the steps, and they're the same. And there's some people out in where we live out by San Angelo. They're excellent, and they've honed their skills as senior photographers, and they get the market.
Yeah.
And if you want to pay, they're expensive. You know, their prices are up there.
Oh yeah.
Then there's the $100 ones and the $50 ones, and they're fine too. But there's a few out there that just rule that market in San Angelo. I'm not sure about the Abilene market as much. That's kind of, you know, I live between San Angelo and Abilene, so I do both sides.
Awesome. So talking about your area, and you know, whether it's oversaturated or underpriced, what do you think is your next move?
In photography, you know, I don't know. I'm getting kind of older. I'm not old, but I've got a few aches and pains. It's hard to bend over. I got a little better camera. Yeah, I got a camera now with a flip out screen, so I don't have to bend over as much. You know, I can hold
I saw that on your last shot.
I don't have to bend over so much.
When people start photography, they're usually all over the floor.
Laying
they're
down,
doing the
you're like,
jumps. The older you get, the reality is, you know, you got to move the screen down. You're like, oh, I'm not going to get that shot. It don't look good. Even though
Speaking
it's
of
the
it,
best
one time
ones.
I was on a shoot. I was actually shooting some high school, I think it was the football team. Man, my back went out. You know, I don't know if your back's ever gone out, if you have that problem, but you know, you crick it and it just like hurts your freaking core, man. And I went, motherfucker. And all the kids were like, I was like, I can't move.
Like you just been zapped with a
so
taser.
I had to finish the shoot, and then I had to go shoot some other girls from the track, some other kids from the track team that was girls. And I was just barely moving around. I was like, man, this sucks. I gotta get a camera where I can look down and hold it down there. And so I've invested in a new camera. So
Awesome. Well, so what about you, Eddie? How did you get into everything?
I just got into photography. I've always liked photography. I've always been into artsy stuff like that, and just I don't remember the models, an old Nikon I got, and started shooting that, and did 90% of the stuff I did was just landscape. You know, I was in Germany for a while, so I took pictures of the bridges and the castles and stuff like that. And then it wasn't until I got back here into Texas that I met Jason and a couple other guys and started working with people, and just from there I started just dealing with people, and it's a whole different aspect from just doing the scenery where you're waiting for that sun to hit a certain angle to where now you got a person stepping into it, and now I'm trying to get that sunset with the picture and the lights and everything.
And
at the same
posing
time.
in their eyes.
Posing, yep.
and a lot
Doing the whole thing.
I'll add to that is a lot of the models we work with out there in that area aren't. I don't want to make it even sound bad. I've worked with a lot of great models in my area, but sometimes up here we get a lot of models that have shot a lot more.
Yeah.
They tend to be easier to coach.
Yeah.
Like we shoot with a lot of some girls is like, hey, I just want a model.
Yeah.
First time shoot. So that's a little rough because you're trying to get your stuff right and making
They're
sure
like
she
leaning
knows,
like this.
Yeah, making sure she knows
got
what
it.
she's doing, doesn't have a booger hanging out or something, you know.
That's what I face too.
And I'm not trying to dog any of the people I've worked with. So y'all, if y'all see this, y'all are great, you know.
Yeah. That's what we get, because you know it's mostly quinceañeras and weddings, so they're not models.
Yeah.
So and then you add the abuelas, you add the mothers and the fathers,
Oh yeah.
and then the little kids, and you got two kids looking that
Little
way.
kids
but-
running around everywhere. Picking her nose in a family picture. Yeah, I've
And
seen
the
it.
problem is, like, especially when I first started, I was like, oh, these are some good poses. And I'd look at my pictures, and 5 models in, I'd be like, oh, they're all the exact same poses.
Yeah,
You know,
sit there,
they're all this.
you're getting a rhythm of just clicking, and she didn't move. And I'm like,
Or you just hold the.
yeah. Like 20
got
shots
it.
later, I was like, you can move now.
You go home and you got like 10,000 shots of the.
Yep.
I've learned to
slightly
be
finger.
more. I was like that at first, and I think probably a lot of us started out just click the crap out of the button.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, you get home, you're like, I got 5,000 pictures to look at.
Or that big fear of moving the button to.
I've
auto.
done that, man. I've done that. I screwed up the shoot before.
One of the things that helped me out, though, was doing when I was doing like buildings and structures and stuff, they don't move. You had to move to do it. So a lot of times when I started shooting people, I would be like, okay, get in this pose, and then I would walk around them and take the pictures. That way I knew I would get 4 or 5 different angles without trying to get them to move and fall over because they didn't know what they were doing. So that helped out a little bit.
Awesome. So you started with the Nikon, but now you're shooting Canon.
Yeah, that's because of him.
What did I do?
Actually, it was him and I don't remember the other guy I was shooting with at the time, but they were both running Nikons or Canons. And, I was like, I had the little Nikon, and they were like, you need to get a Canon. You use Canon. Canon's the best camera. Get a Canon.
Then,
So how was that transition? Because it's completely different.
Not only that, but like I said, that Nikon I had was really, really old school. It was probably the first digital that they had.
it was probably like the mom model.
Oh, yeah, it was like that, and the screen was still only that big. And all the knobs were big and out of the way, so like that. And then
The kind you had to lay on the floor for.
yeah, exactly. And then my first Canon that I got was it was a pretty big one, but I mean the buttons were different. The thing I liked about it though was the grip. I got big hands, so that changing to that big camera was good for me. But
You know what they say about people with big hands?
That's
They
right.
need a big camera.
that's right. Yeah, but that was the only thing that really changed for me was the size and the feel, and of course the fact that it felt more professional. I could take 4 pictures back
you
to back
step
and not
up
go
into
snap.
Step up into the bigger Nikons. They're great cameras.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
That's what we
Like I
shoot.
said,
with.
They lay out different. So when I pick a friend will bring me, hey, how do I do this? I'm like, dude, that's a Nikon. I don't know where anything's at.
Yeah.
And some of the names are different even, but it's still the same stuff.
Yeah.
Photography is 3 settings, right? ISO,
So,
aperture, and then timer, the shutter.
yeah.
So it's just 3 things, but it's different on each camera.
Touching on that, one thing that bugs me the most is when people try to correct other people's terminology, like ISO. I
Yeah.
say ISO.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
Everybody's like,
I say it both
ISO,
ways.
ISO.
ISO.
I say it both ways.
Shutter.
Yeah,
You know what
shutter,
I'm saying?
time,
Okay.
yeah.
Don't be a dick about it.
And then there's a lot of that though. There's a lot of people just trying to say there's a certain way it has to be, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I'll argue with all day long. Is this is an art. You can do it however you want.
Exactly.
Shoot what you want that makes you feel good, and the person that you're shooting makes them
Exactly.
feel good. You did good.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow some.
I think the only thing you
Rule
have to
the
do is
guideline.
follow, basic understanding of how to use your camera. If you're using lights, how to use lights.
How
If
to
you're-
expose.
Yeah, how to
stuff like
expose.
that.
Basic stuff. But other than that, you can do anything.
But above that, if you don't have creativity, you don't have none of
Right.
that.
Yeah. You gotta have
If you don't
creativity.
have an eye, it doesn't matter if you call it ISO or you have 50
Yeah.
years in photography.
Color
If you don't know
yeah.
what you're doing,
Yeah.
or you don't imagine something that's going to happen,
Yep.
it doesn't matter what blood it's
right.
You're just
that's
gonna have
right.
flat pictures all the time. Just
And I think I probably started out that way. When I go back and look at my first pictures, probably in 2000, do they look like shit? They're terrible.
All of our stuff.
I'm embarrassed.
All of our
I want to
stuff.
delete them, but they're my kids. So I'm like,
I shot my kids and I'm going to delete them.
yeah.
When we got into it, our story is, it's the same story. On Christmas Day, everybody bought a camera.
Oh yeah.
My wife wanted to get into photography. I never wanted to. So we bought the cameras and she's like, okay, yeah, boom, boom, boom. Let's put out a post doing sessions.
just like that.
Come on, man, come on. We go out there and we go to a well-known spot. And you got these photographers that have been doing it for 50, 60 years. And you can pick up who's new.
Oh yeah.
Because, I showed up, I had this big old reflector, gold. I'm like, okay, I'm going to shine it. And
She's like,
I wish
"Move to the left, move to the left."
someone would have just said, hey, you know what? I can tell you're new. Let me show you some stuff.
And the problem with that is most people are too competitive to help.
Yeah, they are. So when I got into it, I'm not the artsy fartsy person. I'm more of like, I'm aware of my surroundings. It's a natural marine thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't take too kindly to that from the get-go.
Yeah.
So I saw some guy and he was like, so my wife was shooting, and then I said, hey, I'll be right back. I went up to him, I was like, hey, you got a fucking problem? I was like, you got a problem? He's like, no. I said, well, you know what, take that somewhere else.
Yeah.
But
I'm not gonna help. Don't say nothing.
yeah, I wish there was somewhere we can go and just learn the stuff and not feel awkward, not feel, I guess, too competitive.
Yeah. So like when I was starting out, I live over in Ballinger. I just come by myself, reading the cards, reading the books, Googling, watching videos. There's a lot of great videos on how to do photography and edits and stuff. But so that's kind of how I taught myself. And I didn't know anybody, like over in San Angelo or Abilene, no photographers. I didn't know any other photographers except a couple of smaller, I'll say smaller. We're all small in Ballinger. So the couple of small guys with me in Ballinger that I knew, you could ask them tips for if you need, hey, I don't know how to work this lens or something, whatever. But so this guy that worked over in Ballinger, lived in San Angelo, he hit me up. He wanted to get into photography. So sure, dude, I'll tell you. If I know it, I'll tell you. I'm not an expert by any means, but if you want to know basics of cameras, sure, I'll show you.
Yeah.
And so we got together, we shot some together, and then he started this kind of meetups, and I met a lot of photographers I never heard of, and come to find out, it's just a giant competitive stab you in the back situation when you get all those photographers together. They don't want to share info. They don't want to compliment you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd compliment him all the time, just so it helps keep his feed going, and I like his stuff or reshare because he's my buddy. But those guys won't do that, and I think that's wrong. I think we should boost each other all the time because we're in this together. I'm not competing with any of y'all. I mean,
the other thing they do a lot too is like if there's a girl who's you look at her and you're like, man, I'd like to shoot her. Who is that? Oh well, she shoots with me.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
possessiveness.
And that's the thing with groups, like even Facebook groups or just your friends. Like Fino is my best friend, and I've done the same thing. I've been with people. I was kind of leery even talking with you guys when we first started talking. I don't know if you remember, because I came with the other guy. The other guy. So I was already leery from the get-go. But like you were saying, there's two different types of groups. There's a group that's supportive and help you, and they actually care about your growth. And then there's other people that just want that pat on the back. They just want that.
Look how cool I am, man. I got all the followers, and I got the best girls, and I got the best
Or they're
shoots,
sponges, and they take everything you know.
Oh yeah.
And they give you nothing.
I think there's some out there that even have taken. And I don't want to say taking a my model, but like I'll shoot with someone, we make a relationship, we shoot, and then they go over here, and I think there's some backstabbing going on because this one never comes back.
Yeah.
And then,
that's a shame.
That's a shit job because I'm buddies, we're buddies.
See, I can't go with that because I still got, I'm trying to be in this world where everybody's creative.
Yeah.
And I guess professional, but sometimes you gotta go hood. Sometimes you gotta take it and be like, hey, what the fuck was that about? And that's where I run into problems because I don't know. I guess I have standards of friendships. I have standards. If I'm gonna,
I need that loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty. And that's why I've always stuck with y'all two.
That's why this guy.
Out of all the whole group,
he may be ugly as hell, but man, he's loyal. Yeah. He's like a little pit bull. He's loyal to me.
So, what's your thoughts on everything so far?
I agree with all that. I mean, seriously, when I first started shooting people, he was the one who told me, move your lighting, do this with your lighting, try this, try that, try that. He never told me. I've had people tell me, hey, don't use that light, use this light, He's one of those. I remember.
Yeah. Now I'm going back. I remember when you first started.
Yeah.
He would show us the photos. It's like, hey, look at this photo.
Damn, dude,
it's kind of dark.
Yeah. And I mean,
what was that? And now look at his photos. And you can see the growth.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's, from him helping stepping forward and saying, hey, try this. Don't do this. You don't have to do this, but try this. Or when you edit, try this.
There's people that dog my lights.
Yeah, and there's
and
people.
like, they're lights, man. They don't matter.
Yeah, and then there's other people. They say, hey, let me see your picture. I'm like, oh, that's good, but you have to do it this way, or don't do this, or don't do that. And I'm like, there's no creative side to that. That's just, you're doing it because you went to school and the book told you.
There's a rule of thirds.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's a guideline to me. I try to use that in some aspect at all times, but I don't abide by it.
It doesn't work all the time.
Nothing in this is about abiding to some rule. It's
some of the best photographers or photographs that I've seen are people that never even practice.
Outside the
Some
box.
of my best
and
ones
stuff,
are accidents. I'm not lying. There's a couple I've had with like the motion shots with the girl throwing her hair back that I really love the picture, but it was me just taking a picture, and then she would, I'm going to change and move this way, and I'd snap a picture, and then I'd look at the image and go, damn, that's good. I like that, so it's.
And then you show it to them like, hey, I took this picture.
Yeah, look at
look
I
at
meant to do this.
I meant to do this. Doug,
me in the sandbox.
I left the cap half on just to create that crescent moon.
Little black bars at the bottom. That's what I was after. Yeah.
All right, so let's get back on track here. So we got your journey. So who's one of the top photographers that influenced your work?
I thought about this question. Couldn't think of anybody like famous. I don't look at photos because who took them.
Well, I couldn't hear anything you just said. There was some big.
I want to ask you.
I'm gonna leave that in there. We'll just keep going. So you're saying?
So the
That was basically going bullshit.
Yeah. My favorite, but
oh shit.
Douchebag.
Yeah, douchebag.
Now we got to back it up and go back to. So you were saying?
So yeah, as far as photographers that influenced me, I don't follow or I never really admired any super famous photographers. I love there's pictures of everything from all. I love looking at pictures.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who took it to me. It's a beautiful. I see an old book at the store sometimes. At a bookstore, it's just photographs. Man, I'll be like, it's stuck in there forever.
Yeah.
So influentially, I can't name a famous one.
Maybe yourself.
My dad helped me begin. And I think what really changed my game, there was this guy in Florida named Jay Will. Mm-hmm. He doesn't shoot anymore. I lost him. But I followed him, and man, his stuff was immaculate. And I was like trying to recreate it. And I'm like, I can't do that shit. What is he doing? So I finally was like, and he had like 100,000 followers. Man, I was like 70 followers, nobody. I finally messaged him. I was like, dude,
he added a zero.
Can I ask you a question? How do you do that? Mm-hmm. He goes, alien bees. You got to get some off camera strobes.
So he actually answered you.
He answered me. And I was like, that's cool, dude. Thanks for your help. Ordered me one alien bee, B800 and one beauty dish.
Yeah.
And I had to use the cable to my camera. Man, I couldn't wait for that thing to come in, and I got it. And I took my daughter out to this place that's nice out by our house, and it was like night and day from what I used to do.
Especially when you start adding the lighting component.
Yeah.
Instead of just a pop-up flash.
It makes a difference.
Or it's like,
yeah, no, that pop-up flash, like even my cameras now, you get them the Pro line, they don't have them.
Yeah.
They don't have a pop-up flash. So you got to have a shoe flash or an off-camera flash.
Yeah.
And it's a world of difference.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I thought too.
I'm not even trying to take it away because those people that shoot natural light and are good at it, I can't figure it out.
I can't do it when they're trying to do that sun.
No.
Because the moment you're like,
yeah. I've tried and tried.
Fucking fried.
I even had a shot with one of the big photographers in San Angelo, and she doesn't use flash.
Yeah.
And she took our family pictures one time. Pictures were unreal. I was like, how do you do that? She was, I don't know. I just point and shoot. Like,
back to technique.
Yeah, she just learned it over. And it's funny. I'm not going to say her name because she might get mad at me, but she's a good friend. I love her to death. But she's like, I don't know what all setting you need. So I was like, you don't know it like f-stop is not. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. I just pointed to shoot.
Yeah, so she just fiddles with it. Yeah. She just fiddles with it until she gets where she likes it, and then she shoots. And
well, what I found, some of the best people, creative people, have no actual person that they can say this is where they started or where they
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it
yeah.
from?
And I don't have anybody that really just said, oh man, I want to be like you. You're awesome.
Yeah.
But a couple different folks. My
Yeah,
dad
I've never
did it.
said that about him.
What about you? Who inspired you, or who do you look to? Okay, let me back to the same question in a different format. When you open up Facebook or Instagram, who do you automatically go to see their newest photo?
Those would be like, what's that dude? Jody Wright. His stuff's really good. I still go online to look up old Ansel Adams black and whites because I just love the black and white imagery. So that stuff is just
That's good stuff. That's good
It's
stuff.
just phenomenal pictures.
You mentioned the Nikki Six.
Nikki Six. He's
badass.
yeah. His stuff is very creative, and I was
follow
reading,
him too.
I was reading a little article on him, and he had said that when he started taking pictures, like in his style, he was one of those people who would just he would get lights and things going and take pictures and just change settings and shoot and just come up with stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just that's, especially his work is just really out there,
Yeah.
really kind of spooky, kind of bizarre, but it's out there and it's really it's interesting to look at and to know that he's never been really trained on it, just like Jason kind of did.
Those are like kicks in the butt. When someone just picks up something and they're just a natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, those he's already an artist as a musician, so he probably just has that brain create create something cool.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
So basically, tell me about a photography session that meant the most to you, or you keep going back to, whether it be good or bad.
Let's see. One of my favorite ones was that I shot with a girl named Sadie out of Abilene, and I want to say it's one of my best ones because Sadie is one of my best ones because it was the first time I actually used lighting that I felt like it was used properly. It was a night shoot, and the images just came out really good. And just it was the idea of I've used lighting, for about 2-3 months before that, but then when I shot this one and saw the images, I almost didn't have to do any edit to it. The lighting was just
That's a good feeling.
it was just hit on, and I was like,
lighting things.
yeah, because he taught me things like not to bring them along.
But it is a good feeling.
But
though.
yeah,
Don't
it's a really good feeling because
Tell Jason not to come.
when you look at an image that you don't have to edit, and it's because of the way the lighting and the posing and everything is set up, and you can literally just take that image and go there without
is
doing
nice when you
anything.
finally
So-
get
It's a
it
good
there,
feeling, really good feeling.
So going on that, your next shoot after that, how did that go? Good or bad?
Well, it was totally different. It was because the next shoot was a day shoot.
But how did you feel? Like after you
Felt a
had
little
this
more pumped up, like,
amazing?
yeah.
No, I
did
didn't.
it,
I didn't because I knew it was a different. I knew it was going to be a whole different aspect. This isn't one of those things like I don't know how to kind of put it in with other
I
things.
think I
Like,
can add to it because we shoot location shoots because we don't have a studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every shoot is different to us.
Yeah.
Every single, we got to think about the sun, the building, the reflection. So I think that maybe what he's getting at is because we don't have a studio.
Every time we go into a shoot, it's not okay. Everything's going to be set up this way. The lighting's going to be this way. It's okay. It's a different
Figure
time
out,
of day.
yeah.
There's clouds. There's no clouds. There's cars behind them. There's a brown
That's
building.
the same way with us.
Yeah, so it changes every time.
Yeah.
Everything's
Everything's
always
different for you.
it's the same location, just different. Well, not same location, but same locations that we've used.
Yeah.
But the lighting.
But it all changes every
So,
time. Yeah. That's a battle. I'll add to it. It's a battle to get it right because you're different. Like it's.
But how did you feel going into that now? After you've already
Like
achieved
after
that.
achieve that,
step zone?
I felt
Boosted
I
your
definitely
confidence,
felt
probably,
I definitely felt like I could do it again instead of before I was this is what I want to get to, and now that I had done it and I knew how I done it, I was like, okay, I can do this again. I don't have a problem if it gets to a situation where I have that ability now to make an image look that good and not think, okay, I'll never get to that point. Now my goal is to
Always do that.
get a better image, get something better with a different
Always
setup.
grow a little bit. Yeah.
All right, so going back to that, now that you had that, tell me about the first time you did your actual first paid shoot. How did you feel?
Wow, what was my first paid shoot?
Or
Well, did he get? Do you remember the one he got paid to take in the butt? Is that
Nah, I wasn't the shoot.
He was in gay porn before this.
he's like, I'm not into this. I don't like that.
I give you 5 minutes to quit.
20 minutes from now, we're gonna have to stop this. I can't take any more. No, but back on a serious note. I like to show those different emotions, you know.
Yeah.
You got the emotion of when you finally got it.
Yeah.
When you're finally go to a shoot and you're like, bam, I could do this.
Yeah.
And then you got the feeling where like,
well, I really don't get nervous. I've never got nervous on any of my paid shoots because most of my paid shoots I know, like I've done weddings and I've done like business headshots and portfolio shots.
I called
No, listen. Let me finish.
I was
The
choking.
paid, no, hold
I
on.
was shaking.
The paid shoot didn't bother me because I knew what the paid shoot. I'd already talked to enough people, like for weddings. I know you're going to do your best you can in the wedding, but if the bride's crying, if the groom's drunk, you know, there's stuff that you can't control.
But you personally, you've never been.
I've been more nervous on doing shoots for just working with girls who, like models who I know have a certain style, and doing an image and
There's a lot of pressure.
Or stepping in after somebody just. did
Well, not even
something.
that. Just knowing that they're going to like my picture because it's the style that they're used or the style that they like, and not get all my pictures back and go, oh, you gave me 40 pictures. I like 2 of them.
See, that's the problem I have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah.
There's I know. I'm a talker. I'm a talker. Adding to that though, that's a problem I have is if you agree to shoot with me as a model, that tells me you like my style.
Right.
Don't tell me later you don't like them because you know what we're doing ahead of time. And that I've seen that happen. And it kind of breaks your heart a little bit. You're like, I thought we were good.
Maybe not so much as my style, because I agree with that. If they're asking me to shoot with them and they work with me, they know what I shoot.
They know what we do.
It's more of the, okay, I've shot the images. Are you going to like more than 3 of them? You know, are you going to like the whole set or whatever? Because it's that the more you like, the more I feel better about myself, basically. The kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that goes to branding. I think like we're all photographers. We all have our own different style.
Oh yeah.
And I think when you push branding over product, that's going to define on how everything goes. Like your style, and his style, my style. So
Right. We're all a little
it's gonna be
different.
good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. So, Mr. Dave, you ready? You're next, right?
Whatever.
All right, brother. All right. We're almost finishing up here.
So I was gonna jump in on
Yeah, go ahead.
being nervous. He
Yeah.
says he was never nervous for a shoot. I tell you what, I sweat my ass off that first wedding. I was shaking because I was doing it by myself. I had a camera. They're like, "Hey, can you shoot our wedding?" I was like, "Okay, I'll try." I've never done anything like that before. So I talked to Dad because he did some weddings back in the day, and I was like, "What do you do?" You know, I don't know. So I did it, and I was drenched, dude. I was just drenched everywhere the
That's
whole
the same
time.
way. I still get that way.
Yeah, I do. There's times certain like like the first time I shot with Whitley up here in Dallas.
Yeah.
She's somebody. She's different than what I've shot with. So I know she expects a little better, you know. So I was a little like, oh shit, am I gonna be able to do this?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was a great shoot.
I think I've ever got to that level of shooting someone like, you know, in that category who's got 2,000 followers or 40,000 followers, something like that. I would be nervous to do it. But most of the people I've worked with so far are just, you know,
Locals.
standard people.
They wanna try to be
beginning
pretty.
models who
Yeah.
have shot with 2 or 3 photographers. So I don't really have any like big competition ahead of me that I'm worried about matching. But like I said, you know, if I shot with Whitley or somebody like that, then I'd probably be nervous about it because I know that,
But she's awesome.
yeah, she's awesome. She's, you know, she's professional.
Yeah.
So you sent me some photos, the photos that you sent me recently in comparison to what you had before, and we're going to post those on screen. What do you think of those photos? Like in comparison to those 4 photos to your first 4 photos, you selected those. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about those.
Well, those ones were just very, like I said, the one with Sadie, the night shoot, that one was just because of learning the lights, everything came out. The one that I really liked that I didn't realize I could do was the one with, what's her name?
He says, whatchamacallit?
Whatchamacallit?
When he doesn't remember her name. That's what I was about to do, is look at the
You gotta
pictures
cut this,
sent
'cause I gotta-
forgot who I sent.
Yeah.
I don't remember who you. I don't think you sent Sadie
Yeah,
and
no.
you said Brittany. Didn't you send her Brittany?
Yeah, it was
Oh, there's
Sadie
your
and
pictures.
Brittany, and Darcy. I don't
Darcy,
know.
yeah, Darcy. He's
Okay.
bad with names, Darcy. Don't take that like personal.
He's gonna cut that, so we're back.
Darcy,
But
he
the-
talks
I'm
mad
gonna leave
shit.
it all intact.
Yeah, but like with Darcy, her pictures were just, for me, I consider them kind of a mystical kind of look to them because of the way it was all just, everything in that whole photo shoot was just, it was something I'd never done before. I used very little light. It was sunset. We were out in the field with the little lake right there, and we shot it. And those images just really came out. It was the edit on those that I didn't know I could
The ones
do.
with Darcy there?
Yeah, like that.
See, my favorite is the one above that.
Yes,
Yeah,
this,
that's a good
this
one.
is the more recent one.
That one.
Yeah. See, and what that was right there is that was Brittany, and I had a set. I wanted to do what I was calling a dramatic shoot, and I picked 5 models or girls that I shot with a few times, and I wanted to do just this dramatic portrait look.
You
Somebody,
nailed it.
yeah, thanks. Somebody
You
told me
nailed
that
it
it was
on that.
considered Rembrandt.
Yeah.
It's a Rembrandt style.
I'm
But
trying to-
I shot those, and I shot 5 of them, and then I edited 1 of each picture, and it took me a good 2 hours to do
I
those
think we
edits.
better post that on a group and see if that's a good Rembrandt or not. Because
Check this out.
No, but
Anyways, yeah.
let me stop you right there. So from me to you, since I've known you for a long time, when I saw that, I was like, damn,
that's a good one.
damn. And I know you posted it before, and I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't have the time to say anything
Well, no,
about
it's
it. But my
there's
God,
so much
man.
stuff on your social media. He misses. We miss. You miss
We-
things.
we miss
Things
things.
get us overlooked. I'm trying
But
to.
I'm giving you props right now. That photo, man.
Like I said, I love those. Those are the ones I just started re-editing to finish them up for the girls. I told them I'd send them 10 images, and I only took like 30 of each one of them. And I shot those in
That-
August. And
that
I'm just
should be on a
getting back to
magazine.
them, yeah. But I like that style. I
Don't
really
give
like
him-
that
Don't
style.
give him a big head.
Yeah. So we talked about Eddie's photos. Let's talk about yours. You sent me the images.
I sent you 5. You asked for 4.
Five.
But it's hard to break them down when you start asking for my favorites because there's a lot.
Yeah. See, the same thing with Eddie. Big props to you.
Yeah.
Big
Thanks, man.
props.
Thanks,
man.
man.
Of all the people that I follow, it's some people won't tell you that. Some people, I don't
They
know
won't.
why. I don't
They
know why
won't.
they don't want to share that with people.
Some of your friends will not compliment you.
No.
I don't get it.
I like to compliment people. Not because I want to be like, hey, yeah.
I do too. I compliment random people. I'm like, man, that's a badass photo.
Yeah.
And that's how we should be.
Yeah.
That should be the community.
I don't care who you are. That's a cool photo, man. It's
But
like
getting back to you, the silhouette on the water.
Oh yeah.
Man,
That's Brooklyn. That was the first time I shot with Brooklyn.
the color
Yeah.
with the
I got accused of photoshopping that.
everybody's gonna
But
say
people
something.
like to dog you. And so they don't want to compliment you with the dog you.
Yeah.
Hey, you photoshopped that reflection.
And I think you had to get low for that too.
I did. I was down low and it just
You had no
happened.
background.
He had,
Yeah.
he had his new camera with the
I was a little younger. That
Eddie
was
holding you
right.
behind. so you don't fall.
Eddie, let me send his
by the
letter.
belt.
And then the photo in Fort Worth.
Oh yeah, that was old Peyton. She is an amazing model.
I
And,
like that edit because it's a plain background.
We just
You
happened
got
to find
two.
those. Yeah, I was just lucky. We
Yeah.
drove right by it, and there was those neon signs. As I was trying to find a place to park, I was like, I gotta find this in a
Yeah.
minute. And it took us a minute to find that place again.
Yeah.
But it was cool because, like you said, it's got those 2 neon signs in the
Yeah.
background, so it just kind
So
of
the way you position the photo, it just lines.
yeah, it gives you that.
Going
that
back to that rule of
yeah, the rule of thirds and the
You say they don't work.
what is
but
it?
they
The
work.
diverging, converging lines or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
So
that rule.
that was a badass photo.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It was a crazy day that day. We got up to Sundance Square area, and I'm not super familiar, but we were just kind of walking around. Eddie had another model, and I had got Peyton to come out, and we started walking around, and we passed this guy in his courtyard, kind of back in that area. It looked like that, but it was a courtyard back there, and he was just slumped over drunk. I was like, man, this guy, he's messed up.
It's like, take a picture of me.
But as we walked by, and we started shooting,
You sure? Wait. You sure it wasn't Eddie?
it might have been Eddie.
Yeah.
Between
I think Eddie asked the guy for a date. I don't know.
Afterwards. It was afterwards. He was drunk. He wouldn't have remembered.
The guy, he got up and he went around a block or something and came up behind me and went right up to Peyton and just grabbed her, bear hugged her. I got him and I shoved him up against the wall. I was like, dude, what in the freaking crap is wrong with you? He was just slobbering drunk, blah, blah, blah. I said, you better get the hell out of here. You might have a busted jaw, man.
Man.
And he kind of walked off.
I bet
And then
she was scared.
She was kind of freaked out. I was like, Peyton, I'm so sorry. And I'll tell you honestly, normally I carry my pistol on shoots because there's another story where I got a pistol pulled on me in a shoot. So it's a crazy world out here in photography. So, but this guy kept following us. We went to another location and he showed up again. And at that time I saw him coming. I put my camera down. I said, it's go time, boy. And I said, Eddie, come on. And that guy, he hauled ass.
Yeah.
A little bit later, I finished the story real short. We came over again. I found some cops on a Segway. On the road. Maybe it was on a bicycle. I can't. I don't want to talk shut up Fort Worth cops, but I found a cop out there, and I was like, dude, that guy right over there, he's assaulted this girl right there. I said, you need to get him out of here because he is drunk and he's following us around, and I'm gonna bust him if you don't get him out of here.
So you just went,
Yeah.
okay, I got him.
Paul Blart took
that in my head.
it. Paul Blart took off. Yeah.
I just imagine that. That's why I'm trying to. It's a serious situation, but I was thinking about the second one.
Thankfully,
You lost
Peyton
me in the
was
Segway.
safe. He didn't hurt her,
Yeah.
but he should have never touched her. And I kept my cool. I tried. I didn't want to bust the guy right there in front of her. But I just met Peyton like 5 minutes before that. It's like I didn't want to bust his butt right there, right now. Luckily, we found some cops, and the cops ran him off and told him to go home. And the shoot turned out great. I've shot Peyton one other time since then. She's such a great model.
What I like about both of y'all, it's like me and Fino.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, we wreck each other.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Wreck each other all day, but that's
It's hard.
that's what best friends do.
Yeah.
Best friends got your back, and I know Eddie's got your back, and I know you got Eddie's back.
Absolutely. No, sorry. Peyton sent me Whitley sent me a video about something, so I was looking at it.
So
Sorry.
going back on that, I think one of the biggest things in the photography world that we're missing as business people or just people is humanistic side.
Yeah.
Respect, loyalty, friendship.
For sure.
Friendship above
It's
everything.
like camaraderie or something.
Yeah, well, not just camaraderie, because you can have camaraderie with anybody, but
Yeah.
loyalty and
It's hard to get someone loyal, and that's why we stuck together. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
we fight like married couple. My wife gives us shit for being like, I sound like y'all are married. Because he helped me build my house, and all we did was fight.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Give me the hammer.
Come step in this, Fino. Come step right here. Come step in there here, so they can see you. Fino's gonna be the other host of this show too, but he didn't want to talk on his first one, so he put me out to drive it myself. But this is Fino Zuniga.
I know they can see me on that.
Can they?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
but-
probably too dark. Maybe step into the They can't see me over there.
Oh, everybody, you got a separate widow over here.
You got it. So come back over here. So
No, it's like,
you got it.
I have to be like right about your head.
Well, we don't want to be.
Just hug.
Yeah, lean over to huggy.
So this is the other host of the show, Fino Zuniga. He left me out to dry. Maybe like a little too close. But that's what we're missing. We're missing friendships. We're missing loyalty. We're missing respect. Fino and I have been best friends for a long time, and we started the same way. We started through photography. And when we first reach out to each other, we're like, "Hey, you do photography? Yeah, okay."
You remember what was the first thing I kept correcting you on your,
Yes, vignetting. Vignetting was the first thing.
and your horizontal line?
My horizontal line, because my
Oh,
photos were perfect, but they're like this.
This one.
That's a hard one.
He used to give me all the time, hey, your lines aren't straight. You should
Dude,
do,
it's crooked.
you should do landscape. Why are your lines straight?
Yeah, it's like,
So thank you, Fino, for doing that. Do you remember what we worked on when we became friends with you?
No.
Shyness. Fino is.
Oh, that's still there.
he's still shy.
But not as much. When we first started doing quinceañeras, my wife is really outspoken. She's very commanding and I guess has that authority side. Not authority.
Watch
but-
your words.
Yeah, she's wonderful, human. I love her.
Yeah.
She's the best. But anyway, she has
That's what you were saying earlier.
she has that spirit, like, hey, let's pose here, let's do this. Okay, I need everybody here. Fino didn't have that. Fino was more like, I'll take a photo of the family 50,000 feet away. But now, the same with him. He's got growth, and it's through this friendship.
Yeah, you
So-
work with each other and
yeah.
you help each other. And
So I'll see him at an event, and instead of him being on the sidelines, my wife would be like, hey, Fino, go get him. He'll go over there. He's like, hey, I need you guys here. I need you to pose here. Come in together here. Don't look that. Don't do this. And that's how we grow.
That's good.
So, closing off, we got 2 fast questions.
Fast.
Real fast.
I'm good at being fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
That was great. That was great. Thank you. For other people starting in photography, what advice do you have for them?
The advice would be just have thick skin for one thing, because it's a mean world out there. Because everybody's gonna dog you.
Yeah.
Everybody's better than you. You suck. Your pictures are crap. You know, people will tell you that. They'll get, this is a horrible picture.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even ask your opinion, dude. What do you? And I don't get that so much anymore. Not because I'm good, but I think I've got rid of some of those people off my page.
Weeded out the wackos.
But they will. They'll get on you, dog you, and like we talked about that one picture, accuse you of Photoshop. That's a Photoshop. And I aimed to get that picture that day. The thunderstorm came. I said, we're still shooting, and I'm gonna find a puddle. I'm gonna get a reflection. And I figured it out. I've never done it before, but the people will come and say you photoshopped it.
Yeah.
So that's a hard thing. So have thick skin. Don't worry about what people say. Do your thing. And I really think a big part of it these days is just being good at social media.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't get followers, you're not going to get gigs.
Yeah.
So you got to learn, and I'm not good at it. I really not.
You gotta step out.
You got to post like every day, and you got to be doing reels and stuff, and yeah, it's hard.
And that's why I wanted to bring you guys on this, because not only is it, I want to grow in podcasting, but like I told you guys from the get-go, I want this to be a platform for other people to shine. I want other people in the business to get their face out there, because it's hard, especially being in Bollinger.
Oh yeah, we don't know where, dude. Everywhere I go, I guess I got to spend the night.
Yeah.
I can't just roll up here and be at the studio. I got to come up here and spend the night. So it's take a gas at least. It's a hotel room.
Let everybody know while we're here, because we want people to know how to find you. How do they find you?
So all my stuff's under Gaslit Photography. That's .com, Instagram. Soon to be my Facebook stuff. I have to change that over still. But everything else, TikTok, everything else will be Gaslit Photography.
And my main outreach is on Instagram. So Jason Gore Photography on Instagram. My webpage is gorephotos.com. I had to go a little different on that because I'm not great at branding, and that's another thing. I'm not a great marketer or branding. So when I did it, man, I just like, whatever, make this name, make that name. If I ever get a little more business, it's just my remoteness makes it hard. I may brand a little better and get it all at least the same.
Well, over time.
Yeah.
But like I said, and if you're not following the channel right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we're going to be bringing on other people. We're going to be bringing on other businesses in photography, not just photographers. I want to bring on different types of venues, studio locations. We got Dave coming up here soon.
Yeah, his studio, I walked in there a while ago. That's one of the coolest studio setups I've seen so far. Now, I've shot in a few up here in Dallas, and they're all unique amongst themselves, but that's pretty cool. With all the lights and gear you get to use.
You don't get to.
I'm kind of excited.
Other studios, you don't get that.
No.
You bring your own lighting.
And
when I was loading up, I felt kind of free because I just had to bring like my case. I had to bring my lights and everything.
Well, what I found in other studios is when you go there, it's like a Hawkeye. Like they're constantly on you. Like other places, they're like, boom, and you can't move.
Oh yeah.
Boom, with Dave, you can just walk in and just do your shoot. He's sitting on the side. He's either inside or outside.
Yeah.
But he's not on your back.
Your business,
and that's what I like. And we're going to be bringing him on here soon as well.
And there comes Whitley, my model.
So we'll finish up. What's your advice for photographers real quick?
Mine is old school, and it's the way how I learned it is learn your camera. What I did, and I've had a couple people recently ask me, hey, I want to start doing photography, what should I do? The first thing what I did was very old school. I put an Apple on the table, I got my camera, and I went through every single setting, doubled up on it, so changed all my ISO with everything else set one, and took
Watch
it
what
and
it does to your picture.
look at the pictures and learn what each one does. So if you're high ISO and
you get the little grain.
fast time, and
that's things you can't figure out unless you do it or mess up on it or somebody just tells you.
And then you learn it. You learn how to you learn what each thing does, and then you learn how to combine them to make different imagery.
Okay.
So really learn your cameras. Like you said, every camera, Nikon is a little bit different than a Sony, is a little bit different than.
They're all based on the same 3 settings, though. That's really what it boils down to.
So on that note, I want to go ahead and close this up. I want to thank both of y'all.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having
It's
us.
new for all of us, you know.
I mean, we've known each other for a while. It was the first time I met you in
Yeah.
person, so it's good to
And that's
see
what I was
you.
worried too. I was stressed out. I was like, what if I don't like how they talk?
Yeah, what if
Because I got that personality where you can see it on my face.
Yeah,
If I don't like you,
texting is a little
I can't
different than
hide
talking, right?
it. You could be talking to somebody and be like, this guy's
Weird. Yeah,
But, so, but tune in. Like I said, subscribe. We have some awesome episodes coming up. We're going to finish up here with them, but after he does some private session, we're going to go in there and do a lot of behind the scenes. We're going to show how he works. We're going to show how Eddie works. We're going to talk more. We're going to show different things. We're going to have fun. So I hope you enjoyed our conversation. There's going to be more. Hopefully we bring them back into our studio, the other one, and we don't have to do this kind of run and gun. We could be more relaxed, have some drinks.
I like drinks.
That's where we're going to get dangerous.
Yeah.
But thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. And this is the SandBox Podcast.